Hello world, and we are back. And my name is Kyle Fischel. This is going to be episode 26 of my poker vlog. And for this episode, I took a trip to Tampa to go to the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. And it was quite an interesting property. I'd say the poker room there is different than a lot of places I've been. The room is very, very dimly lit and dark, but there are these spotlights that just shine down onto the tables. So it's quite interesting. If you're in Florida, Tampa, definitely a room to check out. I'm going to go over 3 hands on this video. First hand, I am on the button. There's 2 limpers to me and I have ace jack offsuit. Or I make it 30. I get 2 callers. Flop is jack 7-4, 2 hearts. When it's checked to me, I'm going to size up a little bit here. Try to charge draws because there's 2 hearts out there even though I have the ace of hearts. So I make it 60. The early position player folds, a middle position player calls. So heads up to a turn, which is a queen of hearts. Not really the greatest card, but absolutely not the worst card since it picks up the nut flush draw. Well, this player leads out into me for 90. Kind of a big bet, higher than I probably would have gone. I probably would have checked this card, maybe. But he leads right out into me for 90. And picking up the nut flush draw, second pair. You know, he's really just repping a queen, which kind of a loose peel if you just peeled 60 with a queen. But he's also kind of repping a baby flush, which is bad for me. It can only give me 7 outs. But either way, since I have position, I'm never really going to fold to this lead out. It's usually weak, but we're going to see what happens. River's a 10 of clubs. Doesn't help me at all. He checks. I just check it down, see if my jack is good. But no, he has king, queen offsuit. And he had the king of hearts. Couldn't get that heart to just totally stack him. So that was kind of disappointing. I think that calling 60 with just king, queen on that board is adventurous. I mean, I guess I've done worse, but king, queen, backdoors, overs, call 60. Just spikes it.
Oh, this is the worst day of my life.
The worst day of your life so far.
Alright, so next hand that's interesting. Early position player makes it 20. There's 2 callers. I'm at the cutoff. I have ace 4 of clubs. I decide to call. Pretty good hand to just see multi-way, try to flush over flush someone. And the blinds fold. So we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes 7-5 deuce, 1 club. Not the best flop, not the worst flop. If someone let out, I'd probably continue 1 street to see what happens with backdoor flush draw, just gut shot, 1 over. I think it's a good hand to see a few more streets with on that board, but it checks to me. Easy, just check, see what happens. Turn is the jack of clubs. Pretty fantastic card for me. Obviously flush draw and a straight draw now, and 1 overcard. Well, the same player from the last hand, he leads out for 40. Pretty easy call here with, you know, the exact pot odds at my exact hand. This is a call all day and just hope it hits there. For once, it does. Very rarely do I actually hit my draws, and this time I do. 10 of clubs on the river, full-on nutted hand. Best hand that could possibly happen on this board. And the opponent leads out for 65. So he's tossing that money into the abyss, and I decide to size it up to 225. Nearly a 3.5 time raise, and I choose to do it this big because this particular player actually, you know, bluff caught me one time. I bet 75 on the river with ace high, and he called with a middle pair and was right. So he's already knows that I'm capable of bluffing, so we're going to size up, try to make it look like a bluff, and hopefully get another loose call from maybe a jack or, you know, some kind of weak pair, maybe 2 pair. He thinks about it for a very long time before eventually calling. And so we get paid on that one, so that was definitely good. The final hand that I'm going to go over, it is quite an interesting one. Early position player makes it 15. There is 1 caller. I'm in middle position with pocket queens, 2 black queens. And I decide to make it 55. Size up a little bit. This is the first 3-bet I've done in an entire session. So I'm definitely going to size up, really rep the premiums, which I actually have now. folds to the pre-flop aggressor, who makes it 190. The person in between us folds and it's back on me. At 190, I just think it's too big to be actually aces or kings. I think aces or kings is more in the 140, 150 range. 190, you're kind of going outside what kings or queens would do, in my opinion. I just don't think you ever have it. Either way, I'm going to just call and see what the flop is to make a decision then. You know, got to get a little more information before I play for a $1,000 stack. Well, the flop is 9-4 deuce, all offsuit. My opponent, snap, shoves all in. And I'm with pocket queens. And when he does that, I don't even ask for a count. I don't even take more than maybe 7 seconds to just call and show my cards. Because with that snap all in, that's never kings or queens. It's just, it's too big. There's no way. Like, the alarm bells in my head are just screaming that he can't have it. So I nearly snap call, show. He kind of does a nod and doesn't show. Turn is the ace of diamonds, and he shows ace king offsuit.
Oh my God! That went south so fast! Ah! Ah!
The river's a blank. His all-in was for $760. Didn't need to know the amount. Knowing it afterwards when it's ace king offsuit on the 9-high board, that one hurts. That one hurts pretty hard. That one's nasty. That one, that's tough to swallow. I guess the moral of this story is when your read is right, sometimes the cards just aren't there for you. I think it's quite disappointing because this hand should have never really been for stacks, even though he did stack me. You know, 190 pre-flop, 760, 2 times the pot on the flop. That was bad. I don't think it should have ever been that big. If you decide to 4-bet with ace king offsuit, I think a size of, like, you know, because it's 15 to 55, so it's only a $40 raise. I think a standard 135 to 150 should have been more standard kind of linear 4-bet where you could still possibly have aces or kings. But I think when he raised that big, he kind of took those out of his range, and I kind of was able to know that personally because I called, so I guess I did. And then on the flop, when you only do that much, now it's more. Now it would be like an $850 shove. That would make no sense. A continuation for like 200, 250 would make sense. And then when the ace is on the turn, I can probably just fold because I'm putting you on ace, king, ace, queen, not aces, not kings. And I'm not really going to continue when that ace hits the turn. So I didn't really need to lose my stack that way. If he just bets 100, 200 on the flop and I choose to jam, he should fold. Maybe he doesn't, but he should. You know, he's never ahead, like, ever. Like, but if he chooses to call, that's one way I lose. And, you know, he told me afterwards, he's like, what'd you expect? You expect me to check, fold, ace, king? And honestly, when your 4-bet is called and it's 9 high, probably, you know, if you're going to 4-bet nearly 4x it and it gets called, ace high is not good. I never have ace, king, ace, queen. We're never chopping. I only have probably kings or queens because aces I probably raise. Kings I might call thinking you could have aces. Queens are in there. So when it's 9 high, if you check and I bet like 200, 250 and you choose to call and the ace is on the turn, I'm folding again. So really, that hand did not need to be for stacks. It was for stacks. I got it in correctly. Good. Doesn't turn out for me. But luckily my previous runnings the last few sessions can cover a $1,000 loss. That hurts. But, you know, we're just going to keep on trucking. We're going to be at Orange City next week because Seminole was not good to us. If you're watching this far, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. Support helps. Thank you.